demon house of Gary, Indiana, a family's descent into darkness. Some hauntings are stories, some are illusions, but some leave behind evidence too disturbing to ignore. Tonight we explore the chilling case of the Gary, Indiana demon house, an encounter so terrifying that police, medical professionals, and skeptics were forced to believe. Stay until the end, but be warned, this story will test your understanding of reality. In the winter of 2011, Latoya Ammons moved into a modest rental house in Gary, Indiana, with her mother, Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children. The house was nothing special. Small, one-stopey with peeling paint and an old screened porch. It wasn't much, but for a struggling mother, it was home. They had barely lived there for 2 weeks before strange things started happening. It began as small, almost dismissible occurrences. Footsteps in the hall when no one was there, the creak of a door opening by itself, the feeling of being watched. The children began complaining of nightmares, waking in terror but unable to explain what they had seen. Then the disturbances became impossible to ignore. One night, while Latoya was in her bedroom, she heard a noise from the kitchen, whispers, low and urgent. She assumed it was her mother or one of the children, but when she stepped into the room, she saw wet footprints forming on the floor. The front door, which had been locked, was hanging wide open. No one was there. Over the following weeks, the strange activity escalated. At night, Rosa would wake to the sound of claws scratching against her bedroom walls. The children whispered of a shadow that stood in their doorway, watching them. Latoya, determined to keep calm for her family, told herself it was just the house settling. Then, one night, she saw it. A dark figure crouched in the corner of the living room, its long fingers digging into the carpet. Its face was blurred, featureless, as if reality itself refused to focus on it. The moment her eyes landed on it, it moved. It sprinted up the walls like a spider, disappearing into the ceiling. Latoya screamed. Rosa ran into the room, but was already gone. The family couldn't deny it any longer. Something was inside their home. The possession of the Ammons children. Shortly after the sighting, the children's behavior changed. Her youngest son began speaking in a deep, unnatural voice, whispering things he could not have known. Her daughter woke up screaming in pain, claw marks appearing on her body overnight. But the most horrifying incident took place in the middle of the day, right in front of multiple witnesses. A social worker had been called to the house, along with a police officer, after reports that Latoya's children were missing school due to demonic disturbances. As the professionals questioned Latoya, the youngest son suddenly convulsed. His eyes rolled back, and a sinister smile spread across his face. Then, in front of everyone, he walked backward. Up the wall, he climbed to the ceiling, hung upside down for a moment, and collapsed. The room fell silent. The police officer, pale and shaken, later reported, "I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I hope I never do again." The social worker refused to return to the house. Latoya and her family were now trapped inside something that could not be explained. The exorcism that shocked investigators. The family turned to the local church, begging for help. A priest named Father Maginot agreed to visit the home. When he entered, he felt it immediately, a heaviness, a presence pushing against him. He sprinkled holy water through the house, only for Latoya to begin convulsing violently. She screamed, collapsing onto the floor as if something inside her was fighting to stay. Father Maginot knew what had to be done. He performed 3 exorcisms on Latoya, 1 in private, 2 in a cathedral. Each time, she screamed names in Latin that she had never learned. Finally, after the 3rd ritual, the activity stopped. The family fled, leaving all their belongings behind. Shortly after, the house was purchased by a paranormal investigator who had it demolished after experiencing similar encounters. To this day, the case of the Ammons demon house is one of the most well-documented hauntings in American history. Police, medical professionals, and social workers all witnessed the impossible. Was it a case of mass hysteria, a hoax, or was it something far more terrifying? Some hauntings are just stories, some possessions are just fear, but some leave behind undeniable evidence. What do you believe? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more chilling paranormal stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time, if you dare.